What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy, and just wanted to give you another little bit of an update. Had a couple of things on my mind that didn't really have anywhere else to put them. So, first and foremost, the reason for what I'm probably going to end up titling this video. And if you weren't paying attention, my nose has been violated. So, yeah, the more detailed version of the story, well, first of all, the reason my nose has been violated is because I went and got myself tested for COVID, and the reason I did that was ultimately because there was somebody where I go to church who volunteers in the production team like I do that tested positive just a few days after I would have been in contact with them. So, the second I told my supervisors, they were like, well, not that very second. They checked it with their boss, who's like pretty much like top level person where I work. And he said I had to start quarantining like right then. As soon as he found out, he's like, yep, quarantine now, do it. Even though I was in the middle of a work shift supervising the students. Now, there was somebody else there with me, which is part of the reason that whole setup is handy, having two people working this job at once. But, yeah, I had to start quarantining right then, despite being right in the middle of my work shift, having fairly recently come back from taking a student to the doctor for a, like, therapy checkup thing, and also, I'm pretty sure that day was a Wednesday, so there was other stuff coming up in the day that I was assigned to help out with. It just, like, I'm sure that complicated things significantly for the guy who was still working, and, you know, my supervisors and other people trying to figure out a way to work around all that. But I had to quarantine immediately. The good news was the whole time I had, like, even when I didn't think there was any significant reason to believe that I would have had coronavirus, that I was still wearing a mask just because that was like our broader policy. If we're gonna like go out and do things in amongst people, we had to be wearing masks in amongst the students here while we're on the job. And really anybody who lives on the campus here, we had to wear masks around. So because I was doing stuff at church, it just worked out that way that I was already wearing masks when I was with the students all the time. So the likelihood of spreading anything was reduced a bit because of that. But as it turns out, I went and got the test because, you know, I just kind of wanted to be sure, and for the sake of my family, who I'm going to visit before long, yeah, I just figured that would be a good idea, because if I had tested positive, then it's like, well, now I gotta rethink whether I'm even gonna go up there to visit, and if so, when, and what I'm gonna do if I go up there to visit. So, like, there was a whole bunch of that kind of stuff that I was trying to sort through in my head. It was just like, okay, you know what? Let me get the test to at least have an idea of what needs to be done. So yeah, they didn't really have any of the rapid tests or anything like that when I went there. So I had to get the old stick up the nose kind of thing, which it was definitely uncomfortable. little bit painful, really. Just a bit, though. It wasn't, like, excruciating. It was, I would almost equate it with, just because that far back in your nose is really sensitive, the sensation was almost equivalent to, like, getting that finger prick whenever they want to just draw a small blood sample from you. I'd almost equate it with that in terms of level of pain and overall inconvenience. My eyes were watering like crazy, but I mean, it happens. You're not used to getting stuff poked that far up your nose. But anyway, the results actually came back a bit quicker than I expected, and I tested negative, which is great. So it's like, yay, I don't have to possibly change, like, a bunch of plans. And speaking of plans, I figure I can give you a little update on that kind of stuff. So, the way the school where I'm working is doing stuff towards the end of this calendar year, basically they decided that it's not gonna be worth it to try and have the students come back between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's like, if you're gonna have them leave for Thanksgiving, then you gotta wonder if they've been exposed to anyone with COVID, and that's a risk in and of itself. And then there's the fact that, like, those 3 weeks or so, like, you barely get back into the swing of things after Thanksgiving. Before then, you gotta, like, uber cram for semester finals to try and wind it back down. And it just, yeah. They decided on the whole it wasn't worth it. So, there's a big long break now from Thanksgiving week, like that Tuesday or Wednesday is like the final day, all the way like a week past New Year's at the other end. So, yeah, I'm going to be trying to go up to see my family in Pennsylvania. And I'm not 100% sure what all I'm going to take with me and how much stuff I'm going to do there. Since it's going to be an extended break, like a month and a half-ish, I am probably going to take quite a bit with me. I'm thinking, unless there's absolutely no way that I can get it all reasonably situated, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up taking my recording stuff and my game setup and all that with me. So I don't think I'll need to worry about cramming videos in before doing that trip. But if it turns out I can't take all my stuff with me, then I don't know. I should at the very least be able to, like, freaking use my phone to record any, like, topical or vlogish stuff I would want to do, but any gaming stuff, like, I kind of need the desktop computer with the game capture connecting it and the Xbox so I can actually get the video game recording stuff in there. So, if I can't take and situate all that, then I don't know. We'll see. But odds are I'm gonna be able to do some stuff while I'm there. So I don't think there's any major concern that I'll be lacking in videos in the near future. Let's see. Speaking of videos and such, things that I'm currently working on, like, so I've got like one, maybe two other topical things I'm thinking about right now. Although I might readjust some stuff depending on what I get done when and when I can schedule that, which weeks I can schedule all those for. We'll see. But in any case, like, I've got some gaming stuff already, and since despite the negative COVID test result, it's still been suggested that I finish up the 2-week quarantine time just in case I'm like I don't know what to say. I don't know how to describe it other than, like, possibly being, like, a late bloomer when it comes to COVID results and symptoms and stuff like that. I don't know. But anyway, since I'll be finishing out the quarantine time, the week that I'm recording this, there's a good chance I'll be recording quite a bit of other stuff too. So I should have a backlog of that with plenty of gaming stuff to go through. I've got a couple of reviews I'm still sitting on just to fill in the Wednesday slot if needed. I've got some more stuff to record and edit and publish. Well, basically, both of the Monday and Friday game slots that I have should still have a number of videos coming up that I will probably be recording some of this coming week. And I'm like really slowly, but I am getting through like my entire music catalog to sort through some like top 10 music ideas. There's going to be whenever I do get those out there, just know there's going to be a big focus on intros for these songs and these countdowns, top 10 videos, whatever you want to call them. But anyway, it's just one of those things where I don't always do this, but it's like I'm going through every song in my personal music catalog to just compare, see which ones I think would be better for which video and that kind of thing, or if they're even any good for any of the video ideas that I have right now. Plus, there's one or two thoughts that I have in there that aren't even necessarily intro related. But since it is mostly intro, I can, like, for a lot of these songs, I can just kind of listen to the first minute or so and then skip to the next one. So at least that's kind of speeding up the process a little bit. But anyway, so yeah, that's all I really got going on for now. I don't really know what the situation will be like when I get back. You know, when I get back from the break the next semester, I don't know if we're going to have any more students here. If so, how many? What the class situation is going to look like, because they were thinking about going to like a hybrid kind of situation in the upcoming semester, but with another kind of uptick in cases recently, I'm not so sure they're actually going to follow through with that. Even like the usual fundraisers that would happen in the area couldn't happen this year because it's like, well, we can't really have large in-person gatherings for things, so what do you do? I think that's all I've really got to update you on, because my previous update, like a month or two ago, that covered all of like the new social media stuff that I'm doing, kind of updates, even like a couple of things that I was thinking about with my videos and all that. So yeah, pretty sure we're all set. Yeah. In any case, I'm always looking for video ideas, whether it be video games to play or just topics to look up and talk about and whatever. So whatever ideas you have for me, let me know down in the comments section. And otherwise, you know the drill: like, share, subscribe, click the bell. If you don't know how to follow my channel here and my social media pages and all that kind of stuff, just look down in the description. It'll all be down there for you. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers it all. So, as always, I hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I will see you for the next video. But until then, stay cool, people.